10.
What up, dude?
7. 6.
3, 2.
Hey guys. Hey guys, welcome to the District 3 podcast. This is Elena. We've got Irvin and Dix.
Okay. She's doing our introductions today.
Yeah.
She's doing our introductions
Sorry,
today.
guys. As you guys can tell, we're at a new location where we've got a couple drinks running through our system. Migs, maybe not enough.
Elena, your drinks are non-alcoholic.
Yeah.
So
But
what are you
I
talking
still have
about?
a lot of fun in me.
So this is like our first remote location shoot, right?
Yes?
Well, all of us, at least.
Yeah.
And I'm a few drinks in, so hopefully I don't slur my words when I'm talking today. But we're here from the Odd Soul in downtown Springdale on Emma Avenue, doing our first episode, like Meg said, in a public place all together.
And this is a bar, so cheers!
Cheers. So
Look at all our beautiful drinks.
Can we start by talking about like what drinks we are drinking? And we'll start with you, Migs. What are you drinking today?
He's actually chugging right now. Go,
Okay.
go.
And you have another drink over there.
Hey.
Thank you for revealing the
Really
secret.
fast?
I didn't think you were gonna start by
He's
chugging a drink, but
He's a magician.
okay.
Boom.
So, I sorry about drinking that too fast. We just finished doing the whole setup for our little video shoot, and I'm a little sweaty, and I really probably needed a water because I'm really thirsty. But that's the only drink I had available offhand. So, therefore, I drank that mimosa
Yeah.
Okay.
real fast. I thought
Champagne and orange juice, nothing else?
champagne, champagne,
Hey.
Yeah.
and a little bit of orange juice.
Okay.
And what are you drinking, Elena?
I am drinking a mocktail, which is, we've got lemonade, orange juice, and I think, what's the little red flavoring?
Cherry?
No, like grenadine.
Oh, grenadine, yeah.
Yeah, grenadine. I think it's got grenadine. I
Okie
think that's
dokie.
what it is, so.
Okie dokie. I have a Fireball and Coke and also a hibiscus from Black Apple. Shout out Black Apple. Another bar here on Emma Avenue in downtown Springdale.
Yes, I also thought the same thing when you said Fireball and Coke.
What's wrong with that? Every time I say Fireball, people will be like, "Oh, I remember when I was in college and I used to drink a lot of Fireball and I drank so much that I took it out of my system and I never want to drink about it again." I'm like, bro, I didn't start drinking until I was like 25.
Oh man!
So I have a lot of
Fireball's
space.
good. Fireball tastes good.
I think Fireball is like a good party starter.
but
like
it definitely, everyone has their stories
Yeah,
for it.
shot.
Why do
Yeah.
I feel like I've had?
That's true.
Why do I feel like I've had the opposite experience?
Oh yeah.
Usually when I say Fireball, people are like,
There's a lot of people that, but usually if you're in a group setting or getting the party started,
I'm
Fireball's
gonna say
usually
whiskey
okay.
in general is just hard. Everyone's got a bad experience with something dark.
I love whiskey.
Another thing too, I think that we need to say in like regards, this is our over 255 episodes. And you know, we've been really thankful for all of the spaces and opportunities that we've had. Shout out to KUAF, who has given us, you know, anytime we need anything, they got us.
I don't know how to gang sign KUAF, but I'm gonna learn.
Yeah, we're gonna.
I don't think they have a gang sign.
Now
It'll
we can
be
do
like
the
K
sign
and then the
language.
U.
But no, for real though, shout out KUAF because they've been hosting us for, I think, almost 2 years now. Shout out Jasper, who
Yeah.
gave me the opportunity to come to the studio to record in
Yeah, I
a
know
very
that guy.
professional setting.
That's my baby daddy.
Yeah, for real. And we're just very grateful. But we also want to do more podcasts like this. For example, you know, we're doing this podcast episode here, but right now our mics are not being heard around the building. We want to record an episode like that in the near future. We just got to find a place where we can have a live mic, where we can get an audience there and we can record and maybe find some cool guests to come to the podcast as well.
Yeah.
So look out for that in the near future.
And if you're a real audio guy, turn in your resume because we're gonna need one of those.
We need some help. We need some help because
It did take us about 4 hours to set up, 3.5.
It was less.
Well,
2.5.
most of that work was mixed though.
Yeah, and we were supposed to show up at a certain time, but
Yeah.
like, what's it called? Was that minority time? What do you call
I
that?
showed up on time.
Minority time.
Yeah, we both showed
I
up
just-
past 5, so like,
I said I was gonna be late. To be fair.
it was like a 2.5 hour setup. You know,
We're here and we're doing this little segment where it's just us, but in the next 30 minutes or so, we're gonna have the owner of the odd soul, Jeffro Brown, join us.
Jeffro.
So we can talk to him a little bit about this place, the history, we can talk about the inclusivity of this place because it's a very inclusive environment. And I don't have like a home bar, but if I go to a bar the most, I would say this is the spot for me. I don't know about y'all.
I really love the pizza here. I'm a big fan of the pizza. So we like to come here for dinner. It's kid friendly. So.
And they're not paying us to say that. We really believe that this is a really good place for pizza and also drinks. Like every time I tab out, like my tab is really cheap. It's not super expensive or anything
Not
like
mine.
that. Other places. No. I mean, but Migs, it's because you spend like 10 hours here, bro.
I mean, no, usually like, I'm here with people and people seem like they need shots.
You're one of those people, Migs, that when I go out with you, you're always very generous. Not only with drinks, but with food. That one time we went to that event in Tulsa, the wrestling event, and you brought a whole like 5-course meal out to us.
Yeah.
And I'm not used to that, so you're a very generous person.
Yeah. I also got kind of hooked up there because I was talking nice to the people up in the buffet. And anyway,
that's the trick. That's the trick.
Yeah.
So
become friends with your servers.
And be good things happen, bro.
for real, you put that positive energy out there, and it comes back to get you. So we're here in downtown Springdale. Do y'all come here a lot yourselves? Because I know you're Rogers and you're Fayetteville. What does that look like for you?
We come here very often. We love downtown Springdale. Jasper has done a couple of things with Interform. They're right across the street from us. He's done some art stuff. He's done his clothing line. We were part of that art district thing. I say we because I helped him.
Yeah, you're part of the team.
All the time. So I was there constantly. So we've spent a lot of time here. We go down to the parks. I've gone down to the museum. The Shiloh Museum right over there, kind of learned some history. We love Mr. Taco Loco, right next to us, which we got some tacos earlier. And
did you get them too, or was it just me and Migs?
Nah, just you and Migs. I had some chicken nuggets earlier.
Okay.
My friend Catherine's over there right now, and she said she's gonna come over later because she's there right now.
Shout out, Catherine.
What's up, Kat?
So I mean, there's just we like to try the new restaurants that are down here. We went down to the hibachi place not too long ago.
That's a good place. I think it's called Rain.
Yeah.
Rain, I believe.
Yes, Rain. I know Migs has been to the Fancy French restaurant.
And actually, we met the owner here earlier today.
Oh, yeah,
we did. We met lots of owners.
There was like 3 owners of places here. It was the Bienventure. Is that how it's pronounced?
Yeah. Bienvenidos, but in French is what I call it.
And then there was the owner of the Grove. He was
The
here
Grove,
too.
yep.
And then the owner
Been there
of...
many times.
You got some Mancia tickets.
I don't.
Grove.
If you're watching. Well, we talked. We're going to follow up with them. So hopefully...
Maybe future episode. Maybe I'll censor that part out because I don't know when my NDA is here.
But yeah, we met them.
We
only talked to the owner. What was the name of the bar where the
Natural Beers?
was it Natural
Natural Beer State?
Natural State Brewing?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't that. It was. Oh man, I hate it because I was the nicest guy of them all.
We'll have to put the name of the bar right here.
And our phones are being used for different multiple
can't Google right
camera
now.
angles. And we can't Google.
Literally, all our phones are being used for this episode.
And we have
right
a timer with the iPad. We should
We've
have brought
got
the
a
other
whole
iPad.
setup. We've got a whole setup. Hopefully someone who's here, we'll tell them to take a picture of the whole background.
Yeah, it looks
we don't
cool.
have any,
I'm sure somebody
any
will.
devices.
So we're also very grateful for the Odd Soul for hosting us today. Jeffro, the owner, reached out to us and said, "Hey, y'all should do a live episode here." After we had mentioned doing a live episode on the podcast.
Well, we missed the original deadline.
I appreciate Jeffro telling us to be here today and giving us the space to be able to try doing this episode live.
Yeah, most definitely. But besides all of that, it's just really awesome to keep doing what we do. It takes a lot of time, If you've ever been on the podcast, it takes time for setup. It takes time for us to be there. It takes time to commute. So, really big shout out to both Irvin and Migs. I mean, Migs drives
You do your part too, Elena. You do your part too.
Me too, but it's really awesome to always get to come together and talk. And have people have people listen to us yap. So,
it's just cool also to get to meet new people. And you have an excuse to sit down with someone and like let's talk, let's get to know each other. Specifically, if you have like people in the community that like you look at and you're like, man, I really want to meet this person, or I really want to have a relationship with this person, like a podcast is a very good excuse to do that. So that's why I recommend to people, especially if you want to meet more people, start a podcast, invite people. People like to speak. People like to be heard. Like, I've never been rejected, myself specifically, when I invite someone to the podcast.
Yeah, I love to talk about myself.
That's why we're here, right? But there's a lot of cool, interesting people in Northwest Arkansas that we learn so much from. And I feel like after we record with them and we see them out in the community, we're able to like interact with them, and we've created a bond together.
Yeah,
you
man.
know?
I mean, some of these guests that that I'll probably never get the chance to speak to. Like, what was the guy he was I forgot what religion.
Oh, the guy that you guys had.
Oh, you're talking about
who owns the
Shahid?
business?
Shahid
Yeah. He's Buddhist. He talked to us about Buddhist people and who they are in this
Islamic
community.
people. Islamic people.
Islamic.
Yeah, it was Shahid Sheikh.
Yeah.
He's
Did I
the
say
president.
Buddhist? Wow. I'm so sorry. I knew that wasn't it either.
He's the president.
It's like me texting.
He's the president of the Benville Islamic Center.
Yeah,
Shahid
dude.
Sheikh. He came on. That conversation that we had with him was very powerful. You know, we got to talk about like what it's like as brown people
Yeah.
to navigate our community.
The similarities, the differences.
Yeah. And you know, we learned about ostomy. I had no idea what ostomy was.
Austin Mates.
And we had Miss Aguirre come to the podcast, and we learned about that. And if I had not talked to her, I would not know what an ostomy is and how that illness affects people's lives on a daily basis.
Also, our connection with the Mark Harmony.
Oh yeah.
Like I felt like I learned a lot about the martial arts community. In fact, the other night I was out and I met this teacher from the Marshall Islands. She's Latina and she's from here, but like she teaches in the Marshall Islands. That like I told her, I think it's ridiculous that a bag of potato chips costs $17. And then she looks at me and she's like, oh, like how did you know that?
Oh wow.
I was like, I host a podcast.
What have been some other like podcast episodes or people that you have spoken with throughout these 250 something episodes that you can recall and want to share about?
Well, man, I think I just did.
He kind of did already.
It's harder when you're on the spot. Like things are going. Yeah.
Well, I like the episode that you did with Joy, my sister-in-law, because I got to listen in and just really get to like pick her brain a bit more. She has her own podcast. And that was really fun. Also,
Wait, this
Rochelle-
recent one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Joy?
I wasn't on there, and I looked at the
Yeah.
episode, and I was so disappointed I missed it. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my god, I have so many questions.
I know she's such like a great talker. I think like having the strong women on our podcast is always inspiring for me. It's Serena just last couple weeks ago.
That was a
like
good one.
she's badass and like inspiring.
Yeah, I also felt like Gabby. I felt like you getting
That-
inspired during that
yeah,
episode.
That's what I was gonna say. That's one of my favorite episodes with Gabby Cáceres.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I feel like it was empowering for women.
Yeah,
you
man.
know?
That was,
definitely.
yeah, she went hard on that mic.
She did, and those are episodes I like to even revisit. But I think it's always great whenever I have like my family or like friends reach out about a certain episode, and they're like, "Hey, that person was like really great." And sometimes it's like we don't do much but talk to someone, and they feel comfortable enough to open up and tell us things. So it's really great that we've had the people that we've had. I've been on for maybe 2 years, close to 2 years, or in
About
November.
About that.
Maybe, yeah. So it's been crazy. It goes by fast. But besides that, yeah. What were you gonna say?
Well, the podcast has been active for 5 years. It started back in 2019. So 250, probably 56, 57 episodes hasn't been easy to do. It's a lot of work. Not only the research part of it,
This guy right here.
but just getting guests to show up and to find a time where that matches for both of you. That's so difficult to do, but we've been able to pull it off.
I never understood how difficult it was till I had to do it myself because, like me, like in a perfect world coming like from production, like I'm always like, if we could line guest up 2 in a row, like, and then that way we can film 2 episodes at once and work out with their schedule and then blah, blah, blah. And then you realize that, well, life's not perfect.
Yeah.
I can count on one hand the times that's actually worked out.
Yeah. And then I also realized when it's always so last minute, hey, Tuesday, 10 o'clock, we
Yeah.
got somebody. And I'm like, in the morning?
And going
I'm
back
asleep.
to what
During my bedtime.
going back to what Elena said about like when someone reaches out about a specific episode or anything like that, you've had experiences with someone when you've gone out to the community or an event or something, and someone has recognized you because of the podcast, right?
Yeah, that's happened several times. Actually, that's probably the last time I was here for that one episode with Juan and Susana for the...
Baena?
Yeah, what's that?
Dos Alas.
Tequila? Yeah, the Dos
No, no,
Alas. Casa
yeah,
Dos
Dos Alas. Yeah, I went to that community event, the tequila tasting, and that's where I was when and it happened like twice that night where like somebody came up to me and they're in a group of friends. I know like a couple other friends, and then one of them is like they come and check like, hey, what's up, dude? How's it going? And I'm like, hey, dude. It's like, but then you tell me like, you don't know me, but I know you from the podcast.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then and blah, blah, and I'm like, holy. Oh yeah, I can cuss.
Yeah.
Holy shit! From the podcast, really? Like, and then they start talking to me, and then they tell oh, I listen to most of the episodes. One guy said all the episodes, but yeah.
Damn. The part that touches me the most is not when someone says like, oh, I recognize you from the podcast, but more when they say like, I listened to this one episode and it touched me. And it affected me in some way.
Some people don't like to be touched.
Well, figuratively. The most recent, which I won't mention the person because I don't want to get them in trouble somehow, but I have a friend who's a therapist, and she listened to the last episode that we did, with Jose Esparza. And with Jose Esparza, we talked about mental health. We talked about just taking care of yourself. And she told me that she actually assigned that podcast episode to one of her students.
Oh, wow.
To one of her patients.
Shout out.
And when I saw that, I was like, that's the most powerful thing I could hear.
Yeah.
Like, put to the side the fact that you're just like, oh, I recognize you for the podcast. Like, that's great, whatever. But when someone says, this has such a positive impact that I was able to assign it to someone else because I need them to hear this episode, I feel like that's when it hits me the most a little bit.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You you've been recognized out in these streets?
I have it.
I was surprised. You know, that one guy that was here from, was it Hog? What was it?
We don't know.
It was
one?
Natural State Brewing.
Yeah.
There's a church in Rogers by Pinnacle.
It's not Natural State Brewing, because I know the owners from Natural State Brewing.
Flex.
Unless that was one of them,
But anyways, he said that he recognized you. He didn't know where he recognized you from.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he said he recognized you. So
I don't know if it's anything to
I
me.
don't know
Why
if
did
it's the
he talk to
podcast.
me? I think sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm not very inviting. I feel like sometimes I could be a little reserved. It takes a while for me to like,
I mean, we
be able to
know.
open,
Remember,
so.
Irvin, when we went to the Pesta Pluma concert and we were all there? We're like, hey guys, when we're there, we're gonna get together and take a picture. And then Elena was like, I'm a little busy, guys.
Migs, I don't think you like answered your phone and you were working. And
I feel like it kind of was Mick's fault, though, wasn't it?
yeah,
Initially.
Yeah. I think it was.
Usually.
I think it was initially. And then like.
after that, we were
And then like 40 minutes later, you were like, I'm here. I'm like, bro, we're gone. Like, we're not there anymore.
Well, I mean, I was working, so I had to get things done by a certain time.
that makes sense.
Let's talk about that a little bit, though, because we've all been busy, but I feel like you've been extra busy more than all of us. What have you been up to in the first few weeks? I know you've been traveling the country. If you want to talk a little bit about your work.
Man, I wish I had my phone with me because I could just look at my calendar and be like, this is what I did. Because I always forget stuff, man. I went to Des Moines and did some. I don't know if I can talk about what I did over there, but I did some video work over there.
You posted on your Instagram stories. Why can't you talk about it?
Well, I don't post like what I do. I just kind of post my workstation
okay.
and that I'm in this city. But I'm not like, hey, this event, corporation, concert, or anything like that, you know? But yeah, no.
You did the Copa America?
Oh, dude.
How about that?
That is a great.
Yeah, How was
that?
That is a
You saw
great,
Messi live in
great
person?
experience. No, I didn't see Messi.
Who was it?
I worked camp for the Canada-Peru game over at the KC Sporting Stadium,
Okay.
and it was just a random call, like last minute. Like I couldn't even like, they're like Copa America, and I'm like, yeah, okay. Like, dude, like I want to break into the soccer circuit. Like, not only like I love soccer, and if I can do what I love while watching soccer, like Jesus Christ, like it's a no-brainer. Yeah.
That'd be so cool.
So it was like a moment. Like I have a bottle of Blue Label at home that I only take
Johnny
a shot
Walker?
of every time I do like a super gig, and I did one after that one.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Did it taste better?
dude, yeah,
It's just like-
yeah. I mean, and it's just like it's just a little like
Yeah.
a ritual to me.
Celebration. I like that. I like that.
But it was great. So everybody there was from like, it's Copa America. It's like international, and most of the people are from everywhere. The main crew there that I was working with was from Argentina, but I mean they had people from Germany, like Berlin, and like China, like everywhere. But Peru, obviously the Canadians and the everywhere, and Colombians. There were some cute Colombian chicks. Anyway. But they work for Copa America. I was like, how do I get in this gig?
Especially because you got to travel.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like, that makes sense.
But that was one of the like I felt so I don't know, like special. Like I work a lot of gigs, and this is the first gig that I worked, and the main dynamic was predominantly Spanish. So automatically, like I was so accepted when I walk in there because to my like Caucasian counterparts. Like they didn't know the language, bro. So immediately they were like, "You're the one," and like I got walked them in. I was like chilling, like learning how to speak like
Portuguese or
what do you call it? Argentino style Spanish. Like hey, I got free access, or I mean I got places to stay when I go to Argentina now.
Okay. There you go.
Like I remember there was this one time, and there was this Argentinian guy who spoke Spanish, and there was this Chinese guy, and the Chinese guy spoke like Mandarin and English, and I spoke English and Spanish. So I was the in-between guy, between like where's going here, going like in order for those two guys to communicate, like I had to be there, and I don't know, man, I just felt like holy shit, like not only like I think I'm like kind of like getting somewhere, and I'm kind of like oh like this could be like a lot bigger, like I just felt so like you're
Big.
using all of me, like. Anyway.
I love that people can see the visuals of your expression.
Yeah.
yes.
Because whenever we do audio, people can't see your
Yeah,
expression.
yeah.
And I'm like, I
Like,
wish.
Yeah. I mean, I have companies here who are great, like Vista, and love working with them, and they can use a lot of me. They know how to use me. Is the thing. But I mean, like all of it. Like, Spanish, the languages, like the skills, like everything.
That's cool.
Yeah. Like you're really putting your all
Yeah,
into
yeah.
your work. That's
Well,
crazy.
congratulations on that success.
Yeah.
I think you deserve it. You're a very hard worker, and you're constantly taking advantage of all the opportunities that come your way. So if anybody that's listening that needs some other, camera work,
Yeah.
Migs is your guy.
USL soccer.
Reach out, USL Soccer. Whenever they start broadcasting, hit your dude up. But I'm glad that you've been able to kind of travel a lot. I don't know how you balance that because traveling can be really exhausting. I recently went to California, and even though it was like 5 days, four flights, I'm exhausted. I don't know how you do it. I don't know if you do like
Dang.
direct flights.
That's why he does the first class. Remember?
That's true. That's true. I'm nowhere near first class.
when you can.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So sometimes it's worth it, or it equals out to be the right amount. But I think it has to do with I also get like if I do like a big gig and I'm traveling or something, like I also like when I come back usually. I mean, because sometimes I come back and then I'm here a day and then I'm fucking gone again.
Yeah.
But sometimes like I have like a week off or so, and then so I do get to like rest afterwards. And then sometimes that's what I'm just like, no, this is like me time. Like I need to take this time to rest. I mean, one of the podcasts that I missed was because like I don't know if I want to go over there and like. I don't know if you guys know what I mean by turning it on, but you just have to. Okay, here we go. Like podcast, after I just got back like last night, and I'm tired, and I really don't want to talk to you. I just want to sleep all day.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Migs hasn't been in the last couple podcasts.
I mean, it's been like a month and a
Yeah.
half.
I know,
or
and then you
so.
got a busy August, so who knows if you're gonna be able to make the other
It's like
episodes.
August gonna be busy. That's gonna be hard to get some rest
so-
in, but.
We'll see if we can sneak Migs in there in one of these episodes in the next month.
You know what helps too? The paychecks. That's that.
We're a 501c3 nonprofit.
We're still looking for sponsors.
We don't get paychecks. But I'm excited about today's guest. we're going to be talking once again to Jeffro Brown, the owner of The Odd Soul. And we've interviewed him before. We have an episode. If you scroll down the episodes of District 3 Podcast, you'll see an episode with him. We focus more on like his childhood, his teenage years, and more of his personal life. But today's episode, the part today, will be about the bar. We're going to talk about the bar. We'll be right back with Jeffro Brown.
Yes.
How does the song sound?
Hey everyone, and we're back. Elena has joined the production team, so she's behind the camera now, and we're actually joined by our guest.
The director of photography, the producer,
Titles
the PA,
aren't important.
the audio girl,
Titles.
She even snapped a little zebra board together.
For real though, for real.
/ fan cam / B-roll cam.
Joining us now is the owner of this beautiful, inclusive place, Mr. Jeffro Brown. Thank you for joining us today, Jeffro. How are you today?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How y'all doing?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. What are you sipping on today?
For legal reasons, that, sir, is a ginger ale. It's a ginger ale.
Definitely looks like the color of a ginger ale.
It does.
Definitely does. But yeah, we're here at your place. You've been on our podcast before. We focused a little bit more on like your past, on your childhood.
I talked a lot, like too much. It seems like.
The good thing is though is that this is a podcast, so you're kind of supposed to talk a lot,
Right.
you know. So you're like the perfect guest for this kind of thing.
I told Irvin when we recorded that, I was like, man, Jeffro, great podcast, like bad like clip material. When you need to like advertise something, like it's hard to get like a 30-second clip. You know?
I'm not good at short term. A lot of editing.
But if you're listening to it, it's a really good listen to, you know. And I think we went close to like an hour on it, I believe.
Yeah.
So if you haven't listened to that yet, go back. I think it's like episode 230 or something, I believe.
No, hang on. I think it was 126.
No, it wasn't.
Was it not?
Because you were in the
It was
200s.
2-somethings,
Where did you get 126 from?
Oh, because I wanted to be 252, which is double our address.
Oh yeah.
That's what
I had asked for 252
That's what it is. But I forgot.
because
why
I'm
we
weird
couldn't-
like that.
But
We
you wanted
started.
episode 252, so we tried to make that mark. We missed it, but we're doing it.
We got pretty cool. We got pretty close. I think this is like 256 or 257. One of them two. Something happened that we couldn't come at. I don't think we were prepared yet. But
Yeah.
now we're here. You know, now we're here at the Odd Soul.
Full on production.
Yes, on a Tuesday night, which you told me is like the last busiest night at the Odd Soul, right?
Yeah.
Generally speaking.
Yeah, generally, because
'Cause-
Mondays we do trivia, so there's already a lot of sound going on there, and from Thursday through Sunday it's weekend, and Wednesday we get a lot of after work people. So
Wednesday?
Mhm.
Why do you think that is? Is it because it's what do they call it? Hump day?
Hump day. I think people have made it, through 60% of their week. It's like I got to do something else.
I do see that there's a lot of casuals here. Anytime
Yeah.
that I come here, I see like 4 or 5 people. I don't know their names yet, but I know that they're here a lot.
Yep.
And what do you think attracts them the most to this bar specifically? Not to be biased because you're the owner, but
Man, I don't know. I'm surprised it's anybody else. I'm glad to see them, but I don't know why they come back. That sounds terrible. It's not that I don't know why they come back. We give an experience worth having that they'll come back for. We try really hard to know people's names, to remember stuff about them and who they are. My staff are dog people. Like everybody here has a dog. And so if you walk in this bar with a dog, you are instantaneously memorable. And the people want to know at least your dog's name, if not yours.
I brought my Dookie Bear here 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
And when I came in with him, I felt like I was the most popular person in this bar.
Yeah.
Because people started coming up to me, started asking me what his name was, started petting Duke. And I was like, man, is this the way that we find peace between people that maybe their views don't align with? Dogs? Because
Yeah.
I feel like everybody loves dogs for the most part. Unless
They're
you're
a great icebreaker.
Yeah, unless you're like traumatized and scared of dogs, because some people do have that trauma. But when did you move into this space? What was this space before? What does the history look like? If you could talk a little bit about that, please.
So this building was built in 1916 by the Joyce's family. It was Joyce's drugstore, and it remained that business until 1986ish. So solid 70 years. It changed ownership a couple of times. The fellow who went on to eventually be mayor of Springdale for close to 30 years, Charlie McKinney, as a high schooler, started here as like a junior pharmacist
Oh,
I've
wow.
got a picture of him in the middle of the room when he was like 17.
Oh, shoot.
Sometime right after World War II, the soda fountain was put in and the floors were redone. These are more mid-century than like pre-World War One. But otherwise, like the building is kind of as it has been. The ceiling's original. It was painted with automotive enamel sometime in the 70s, which is why it looks as crisp and clean as it does. But whoever the last owner was, it may have been the Hubbies, I forget, old Springdale family of Joyce's closed their doors in the mid-'80s. The building became the Cookie Express and Popcorn Caboose. And they had the big like pizza-sized cookies and cookies on a stick, look like lollipops, big massive things. And they would do food bouquets and party favors and stuff. And the soda fountain was still here, so they did milkshakes. I remember coming here as a kid and through high school for milkshakes. And a lot of people will tell you that, like folks who lived in Springdale their whole life, like, yeah, I remember going to Joyce's for sodas or chocolate malts, whatever.
Oh, wow. And so then I figured that you'd be the kind of person that would know the history of this.
Yeah.
Because you've told me before that you like to tell stories, but I feel like you're also kind of like a history buff of things that interest you, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So from here, like I can give you my family history in about 7 or 8 locales. Like across the road is the old famous hardware. My grandfather was the manager there in the 50s. I have the
building's not standing anymore, right?
No, that's that big tall critter.
Oh, no, you're right.
Not oldest, but biggest building downtown is the old famous hardware. I've got their office chair, all of my fishing equipment. My grandpa bought there in the 50s, like boat, trailer, trolling motor, some really old lures that smell even worse than they did originally. Everything's from there.
Oh, wow.
His father-in-law, his dad was a rural mail carrier. What is now the Chamber of Commerce used to be the post office. And my grandfather got his dad's route box when he was postmaster and they were refitting the new post office on Holcomb. My grandpa said, hey, can I have Dad's route box? I said, yeah, sure. And it was in his shed. I've got it now. It makes a great liquor cabinet because it's 80 little cubbies in this big panel. But it included basically rural Route 3 from Springdale, kind of started here on Emma, went up to where AQ used to be at Bacchus, and west, up 40th Street to Wagon Wheel and around, through the farm I grew up on and live on now with the other side of my family. And then back around on Elm Springs Road. And if you know old names of Springdale, you can follow the route based on what names are still on the thing.
So how did you come up with the identity of this bar? Because I feel like if you look around the place, there's a lot going on. There's like soccer team flags up there.
Yeah.
There's a WWE championship up there.
Irvin loves that belt.
There's a LGBTQ flag over there. There's a lot of things, a lot of factors in this bar, and I kind of want to talk to you about, like, did you put a lot of thought into that, or is it kind of like
short
you just kind
answer?
of go
No.
as okay.
One of our strengths from day one has been evolution. Like when we first opened, we were just a beer bar. Everybody involved in building the place, our first round of regulars, were all associated with local breweries. And like I had been at Core. The guy who pitched the idea to me had been a regular there, and when we came in and looked at the place, again, I came here in high school and I remember having milkshakes. All my best memories include food, quite often milkshakes. And when we came in to look at the building, the old milkshake machine was still in the back bar, and I said, I'll sign the lease today if that thing transfers with the building. Because when I was at Core, we would get a lot of dudes in who were big into beer. They'd bring their wives and girlfriends who weren't. And we only had a license to sell beer at that time. Like, that's all we could do. So I would keep chocolate ice cream in a freezer behind the bar and mix it with stout and make stout shakes. And if you've never had a milkshake made with chocolate ice cream and stout, you're missing out.
Bartender.
Right? So when we were getting ready to open here, like, word went around. Like, I remember seeing online, like, it's that guy from Core who makes the shakes. He's opening his own bar. But the soda fountain was the feature of the building, that beautiful marble and quartz bar, and like that's what we were basing the build out around originally, at least mentally. Like we've got some great arts and crafts or early mid-century modern kind of furnishings on the door and other places, and we wanted to look really Art Deco, like crisp and clean, kind of like the Apollo has been done up. And I wanted that, but the more we were in the space and being aware of who I am, like here I am and it's somebody else's T-shirt. I can't pull off crisp and clean.
Shout out Black
all
Apple.
the time. Yeah, Black Apple. One of the other 3 bars when we opened. They beat us by like 12 months or 10 months. I think they were open for us.
So there's been like a lot of construction on this street, and I know because when I ran for office, I would go around and talk to all the business owners like, around here, and I would hear a reoccurring theme of like people being stressed, people feeling like they weren't getting the clients that they should because of the construction and stuff. How did y'all manage to survive?
The handy thing about selling beer is that people will find beer. Like, construction may slow you down. There's a real lack of parking now. 5 years ago, downtown Springdale had more parking, like per amount of businesses requiring it, than any other downtown in the area. We've seen a lot of growth in 5 years. That is no longer the truth. If nothing else, like just our back parking lot is half gone to construction right now.
Yeah,
whether it's just safety zones to keep people from getting too close to stuff falling down, or equipment sitting there or whatever, or even the construction members parking their vehicles, because there's a lot of dudes working down here right now. So that is an issue, but it's one that'll go away. And the reason the road was closed at various times the last 8 years has been that all the growth was more than our municipal utilities could support. Like our water and sewage down here were 50, 60-year-old pipes. Like that couldn't support the apartment complexes they're wanting to put in. The electrical stuff was a bit old. So we're doing updates as a city. And it's something that has to happen. It's part of growth. One of the growing pains.
Dude, I said it before, and here on the podcast, but now since this is our first video podcast, hello YouTube. I just wanted to reiterate that. I remember when I moved here, I moved to Springdale, and I remember the downtown. It's not vibrant or anything.
No.
It was dead, kind of. Like the reason I moved out of Springdale is because it had no soul. Like nobody here was standing for anything. Nobody here there was a place to chill where all the homies can go kick it. You know. So I was like, okay, I'm out of here. And then here, since I moved out to now, like. This is like, people are coming out here, but people are telling me, hey, man, I'm at Bucks. And I'm like, Bucks of Asia? Like, no. Emma Bar and Top. I'm sorry. I know Emma Bar and Top, not Bucks.
But at the time, the first time you heard it, you're like, why are you at Bucks of Asia before 3 in the morning? You're not supposed to go there in daylight hours.
And I just want to say that I need a new drink, and this is...
okay.
This segment is sponsored by The Odd Soul,
Okay.
where you can get the Jimmy Buffett, which includes... I can't read from here, but a bunch of different things.
It's a
Pineapple
surprise
whiskey,
to me.
mango, OJ, cream, and Sprite.
That pineapple whiskey shouldn't be good, but it's absolutely delicious.
I need to try that.
It's
That'll be my next drink.
Buchanan's. Is it Buchanan's?
That'd
It's
be
a scotch with pineapple already in it, and I'm kind of a scotch
It's
purist.
sitting there, so it's a little watery, but it's good.
Oh, you want to try
I'm
it?
kind of a scotch purist, and the first time that bottle came around, I thought, you know what? Let's get it, because it wasn't moving. I'm like, yeah, let's get it for the fun of it. And it ended up being absolutely delicious, to the point now that, like, I drink whiskey and pineapple.
Dude, I want to come here one day and then pick your brain about scotches and whiskeys. I need to buy a certain bottle for a certain someone, and I need some help.
If nothing else, I can pronounce the names better than a lot of other people.
So
Jack Daniels.
The Odd Soul, y'all have been really gracious with me whenever I have an event that I want to do, and y'all always work with me, whether it be like a soccer game that we want to broadcast here or like a fundraiser and stuff. Y'all also do trivia, right? Can you talk a little bit about that, about like when that happens and what it looks like, and what can people expect if they've never been?
So we do trivia on a Monday night. Starts at 7. We always get everybody to register on our Facebook Messenger, just so we've got it written down, who's going to be here, how many seats we need. And a fella named Mike White does our trivia for us. He used to do the hog call on, don't make me lie to you. It was an upper 90s frequency on FM radio.
Okay.
Don't remember which one.
I think I saw him here yesterday.
Yeah. Mike used to be a manager at Farrell's on Dixon. He's been in the industry for years. And he's got a brain for picking stuff apart, and he loves making up questions. We used to do it on Tuesday nights, but it got to the point that Tuesdays here were just too full to get trivia people in. Like you saw when you all got here earlier, there were no extra seats. So we could either have a Tuesday crowd or a trivia crowd, and we couldn't do both.
Oh, okay.
So move trivia to Monday.
Okay,
And then let Tuesday kind of grow on its own again.
So, like I said, you've worked with me when I've done when I wanted to host past events and stuff, fundraisers, soccer games. Why is it important for you to do that?
Because I want a community. I want to be a part of the place. Again, like I can quote you my family history from this position in yardage. Like my great-grandfather had a business down there. And another great-grandfather led music at the church on Sundays when he wasn't driving for JTL. Like we've been here a long time, and it's important to me to be a part of that. I remember saying years ago that I look forward to being one of the ghosts of this town. This place has built us as much as we've built it, and I want to be a part of the growth. The thing with a city is there's no real such thing as stability. You're either growing or you're dying, and you kind of have to pick a direction. And Springdale, not so much as just downtown Springdale. Spent a lot of years in decline. Like you said, when you moved here, there wasn't anything to do. There wasn't a place to go. There was the cake shop. Like Shelby Lynn's has been kicking it for 20, 25 years now.
I bought like 20 cakes from there before.
Right, Shelby Lynn's go hard.
Right, absolutely. But, I mean, there's a few law and accounting offices down here, but as far as places that you would just engage with and be a part of, they've all been moving away. It's part of growth. When you have success, you have to expand. And in Springdale, a lot of the times, expansion meant moving, whether it was out of town or just off of Emma Avenue. So up through the 50s and 60s, Emma was all of Springdale. Everything was down here. Grocery stores, Chevrolet dealerships, places to buy jeans. And
movie theaters and stuff.
Yeah, 2 or 3 movie theaters on this one stretch of road. But then in the 60s, they started moving, well, even in the 50s, they started moving out to 71 Business and spreading north and south. And then in the 70s, they started spreading down 412 until by the mid-80s, they were at what is now the interstate. And so Springdale has moved a lot, and downtown has just kind of been a shadow that got left behind. I compared it to Radiator Springs in the movie Cars.
I enjoy coming over here more than Dixon because sometimes when I go to Dixon, I get overwhelmed. It just feels
Dixon is a busy place.
Too much.
Well, I was down there a couple of weeks ago for an event at the Walton Arts Center, and most of the students are gone. Like it's just the Fayetteville crowds, or at the very least Northwest Arkansas local crowds who are out. It's not just students.
I feel like here you can have a good time, and it's more of a chill vibe.
Well,
absolutely.
It's a lot of youngsters. Like last weekend, our homie Frisco is sitting back there, but
Shout out Frisco.
Yeah, I judged the comedy tournament, and we went out, and one of the comedians was talking about, what's it called, Tin Roof?
Tin Roof?
Yeah, Tin Roof. It's like a new bar.
In Fayetteville,
no? Apparently, it's pretty hot. And then, anyway, I was with a couple of friends, and me and them, we went over there. And it's the young factor. There's a lot of...
Define young.
Like, I don't know, like I feel over there and like I want to like take care of them instead of buy them a drink. You know, like, are you okay? Like, it doesn't seem like you've been drinking too much.
Do you want to text me when you get home? Make sure you make it home safe.
I can't go out in Fayetteville because I feel geriatric down there. Like I am too old to be in Fayetteville.
So
You gonna say something?
Oh no.
Going back to what you said, you used the word ghosts a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
Is this place haunted?
Not that I have been aware of. There are people who say that when it was a drugstore it was. But
It seems like this seems like a place that would be haunted.
it's old enough to be. But
It's called the Odd Soul.
it may just It may just be that I am and not attuned enough to such things. But like I've been here alone at 2 a.m. I've slept here before.
Oh wow.
I have never had a feeling of something odd is going wrong. Now there's been some weird noises, but I've usually been able to investigate them and find out, that's the dough rising that caused the lid on the dough box to pop
That's
loose.
just Miggs laughing whenever he comes in.
Yeah, have you heard Miggs laugh before? He's got a really strong laugh.
Yeah.
There was this one time where I think we were here. Some guy came up to Miggs and was like, "Dude, I love your laugh. This guy's such a good laugh." You remember that?
I get that, dude. I think people are lying. I every time I hear it somewhere, I'm like, oh my
You got
God.
you got that Seth Rogen laugh. You know what I'm
That's
talking
what
about?
people say.
Yeah.
I tell you, one time I was in a plane, but riding first class, being
Flex.
Yeah, but it was first class in what's that cheap airline? Anyway,
Spirit.
Frontier.
no, it's
The
called
blue one. The blue one. Right?
Yeah. Breeze. By the way, Breeze.
Never even heard of
A shout out to them because you can get like a first class ticket. They call it best class, but it would be about the same class. It would be the same price as a regular ticket on any other flight. So for $300, you're getting free drinks the whole way.
Best class is worrying.
Migs just gave a millionaire company free advertisement. Migs, come on now.
Well, no, I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it for the homies that want to get free drinks.
I feel that. They got some good flights that are like, what, like $70, right?
But anyway, I was there and
Just ignore me.
I was coming back from like Florida or something. Yeah, and then I had a teacher sit next to me, and me and her, like, you know,
Sharing drinks.
Yeah, no. Well, I start
teacher?
pounding. I'm like, I'm going to work. Yeah, I teach her. She teaches, and she was coming out here to visit her family or something.
Teachers outside the classroom have a good time.
Yeah. And then I was like, I'm going after it. She's like, oh, okay. And then like she gets one drink with me, and then I get another one, and then I get another one, and then she's like, okay, like I think I want to drink too, you know. And if there's anybody in a plane ever having fun next to you, like do it. What else are you gonna do? Anyway, just go for it. Anyway, so me and her are just like sipping drinks, having like a good time, and I'm doing me. I don't know how I laugh, but and then
I don't know what that was, but
the flight stewardess, you know, comes up to me and she's like, you know, I've been trying to think about it all night, but you know who to remind me of? And you know, I heard it before, but she's like Seth Rogen, and I was like, oh yeah, like. All my friends say that they call me the Mexican Seth Rogen. Yeah, and then I'm like, but that's racist. And then she's like, why? And it's like, well, they're my friends, and I'm not Mexican. You know? And then the whole best class started laughing. Like, so everybody was paying attention.
Because there's only 4 of them, they could all hear you.
Man, we've had about like maybe like 6 or 7 times where Migs has dropped on this episode that he rides first class. That's an ongoing thing.
Best class.
Best class.
Because who else have you ridden first class with?
American. Usually,
Okay. So that is an actual first class ticket. All right.
Not Migs.
Only something. It makes it seem like I'm doing it like all the time, but no, like.
Oh, that's hilarious. But so now things are looking up kind of in downtown Springdale. There's a lot of growth.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of different businesses coming over here. There's hotels. There's new Mexican restaurants. There's a bunch of Mexican restaurants down here.
There's
in
a lot
downtown
of
Springdale.
restaurants, period.
Yeah, we got the Rain.
Hibachi and sushi.
Yeah.
There's
The French restaurant.
The French restaurant, Bienvenue. There's Kitakara, I think I'm pronouncing it right. The
Okie.
ramen restaurant.
Oh yeah, I want to try that.
Yeah, and I've heard great stuff. I haven't been there yet.
Yeah.
The other place that I like, just a little bit further down Holcomb than right here downtown, but across south from the post office and the little shopping center where B&K Grocery used to be, there's a place called Zen Rob. It's Thai. Pretty sure the guy used to have a food truck. If you go to Fayetteville, you know that better than I do. But it's Thai and sushi, and he is absolutely spectacular. I don't know whose sushi I prefer, his or Rain's. Like in a blind taste test, they're on par with each other, absolutely. Rain's got a cooler kind of feel, but if you just want a nice, easy, quick meal, nice Thai hot kind of dinner, Zen Rob's the place to go. There's the new Mexican dessert place.
I heard about that. Is that
Right by Our Best?
Is that by Yayo's, I believe?
No, Yayo's is going in on Holcomb.
Okay.
Yayo's going here?
This is right next to Paco's Tire.
Oh wow. I wonder who it is.
Gosh, I don't remember what it's called. Yeah, but got a lot of options. The steakhouse, obviously, Gaskin's. It's so good. I know it's a steakhouse. I've been there once. I had the salmon.
What was it called?
Baskins. It's right here.
Gaskins with a G.
Gaskins? Oh.
Yeah, they start off
not
on Eureka
Baskin Robbins,
Springs. They've got
it's
Gaskins Cabin over there.
Oh, I think I've been there.
And the
It's
owners have
new.
moved downtown.
It's right here.
No, I think I've been in Eureka.
That seems like Migs' kind of place.
Wait, so is it bougie?
Yeah.
I think
It's
I've seen
so
it. Like,
nice.
I want to go there.
They've got a great bartender.
What time do they close? They got time?
They're closed now.
I
Probably.
think they take their last seating at 9, so like we could stop right now.
Let's go.
Bye.
Bye, Migs. I guess I'll finish this podcast by myself.
But they're a steakhouse, so I went in and there wasn't anything on the menu I didn't want to eat. It all looked good. I thought, well, they're a steakhouse. They're known for steaks, so I should see how well they do something that isn't a steak. So I had the salmon, and it was spectacular. It was so good. Best salmon I've ever had.
Okie dokie.
So yeah, highly recommend it.
I love that in Springdale there's so many cool things happening now. There's a lot of things you can kind of brag about and be like, this is now a cool place to hang out downtown.
Yeah.
And
we
like,
have to choose where to eat now.
Yeah,
that didn't used to be a problem.
I mean, all the Mexican restaurants, all the bars down here now. If we could only get a nightclub out back here, but I don't know, that'd probably take a while for permits wise and stuff.
I was reading a series of comments online today. Apparently, the old Harps on Bacchus is going to be some sort of venue event center that may be doing some nightclub type stuff, which is cool. Be really cool to have a grocery store.
That too. That too.
But you win some, you lose some.
And what are like looking in the future? Are there things specifically that you're excited about when you think about like what's coming over here, or maybe overall for just the Odd Soul of what the future looks like? Can you talk a little bit about that? Whatever excitement that you feel.
I'm not really one that looks to the future, if I'm honest. Like,
say the present.
I tend to go through life with no expectations whatsoever.
I feel that.
Seems like he's a lot of a historian.
Yeah. I'm glad that it turned out we weren't wrong about businesses surviving in downtown Springdale.
Yeah.
Because 8 years ago, when we started talking about this, everybody's like, man, there's already 2 bars. Why would a third make it? I'm like, well, here we are.
Well, because you guys are on the same schedule. You guys are just
there's a lot going on.
Come here.
And there's different vibes, right, with the bars.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's different vibes.
Yeah. There's some place for everybody. Well, speaking of different vibes, like there's Medusa down closer to 71B as well, and in my mind, it's more of a lounge kind of place. Hey, Nestor, they do really good cocktails, and they've got. It feels like a lounge. Like they do some spectacular appetizers. Now their burgers are really good too. Their steaks are good.
Okay.
But the stuff that you can just get to like bite and share with friends, it's great for that kind of place. And I'm glad it's there. Nestor was sitting here one night talking to some of my regulars, or at least my customers, and they said, "So what do you do?" And he said, "Oh, I run a bar down the road. We're known for our margaritas." And they said, "Oh, really? Do you make a good margarita?" And he said, "Yeah, I make the best on the street." And these 2 people turned to me and said, "Ooh." And I said, he'd better think he makes the best on the street, because I think I do.
I do want to say that in the street, you're top 1, top 2.
Okay, I'll take that.
So I think you compete for 1. So if someone else is saying that they're 1, I have to contradict that. Y'all do really good margaritas here.
This guy likes Fireball and Diet Diet Coke.
No. If you're mixing Fireball, it's got to be Diet Dr. Pepper.
Mix?
I have no idea.
No, what I do that freaks them out whenever I go to the bar. I'm like, can I have some rum chata with Fireball?
That shit's good.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
Yeah.
It's delicious.
Good.
But then when I ask, they'll be like, oh.
See, I've reached the point that I no longer drink things that taste good. Like, I like Campari. It's an Italian liqueur. Because I'm an old man and I get acid reflux, so I've got to drink some sort of aperitif to take the burn away.
I get acid reflux too, so I don't think that's an old people thing. So for you specifically, like, we won't talk about the future because you said that's not something that you like look into or anything like that. But
it's a precarious thing. You can't be scared of it. You got to be aware that things happen and changes come.
You can't plan for the future. You got to be able to take it.
You got to be able to pivot when it gets here, and again, that's evolution has been our strength from the word go. Like, we were just going to be a beer bar. We were a place for beer geeks to hang out. And
here I am drinking a Jimmy Buffett.
Right? and we're known for our pizza that we didn't plan on doing. We very specifically did not want to do food. We didn't want that responsibility.
So
that's what I hear.
And I'm not saying that because you're right in front of me.
I've never said that myself.
Yeah, I'm not saying that because you're right in front of me.
Yeah.
But like the pizza, especially.
So, I forget, it was somewhere on Facebook the other day. I don't remember if it was a local thread or what, but what someone said, where's your favorite place? I don't remember if it was favorite place to go out or favorite pizza or what. And somebody gave us a shout out and said, "Man, Jeffro with the Odd Soul throws a mean pie." And just to be honest, I don't make the pizza at all. I have never successfully thrown a pizza here. I used to try, but we figured out all of our own strengths, and that's not one of mine. So if you've had a good pizza here, I was not involved.
So can you give a shout out to some of the cool people in the back that do actually make the pizzas?
Yeah, so we have a great staff, and we've managed to hang on to a lot of them. I've lost a couple of guys recently. Somebody had a lot of family stuff going on that he needed to take care of. Another dude's wife got a job out of state. But otherwise, everybody here has been here more than a couple of years. In the kitchen, I've got Addie and Tall Matt. We've got a new Matt who's slightly shorter than Tall Matt.
Tall Matt, short Matt, we good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. There's Haley and Chloe and Joe and Victor. Gosh, who am I forgetting? I'm sorry. I think that's everybody in the kitchen.
Okay.
Behind the bar, Kai is our newest hire, and she's been here 3 years now. Everybody knows Boston, right? Yeah.
That's great retention.
Yes. Yeah. Everybody knows Boston. He's our longest standing employee. He came in at like 3 months in.
Oh, wow.
Been here ever since. Ada's been here nearly as long. Our boy Kevin, who's kind of part-time and trying to get a teaching job. We got another part-timer who is a teacher, Alexa. And our
I just met her the other night. She said she worked here. I was like, oh,
yeah. Yep. And then our other part-timer, Steven, is a welder at Cramelot. So we've got a wide range of folks.
So what are, for someone that's never been to this bar before and they see this episode, they're like, I should probably go check out the Odd Soul. What would you say that they can expect when they come here?
That you need to order at the bar. If you sit at the chair and stare at us,
isn't there?
We'll stare back.
There's 2 spots.
Yeah, hurry right now before somebody else gets
Either
here.
between the chairs that are over there at the bar or over here on this isolated place.
Yeah, we don't do table service. Order at the bar, whether it's food or drinks, your bartender will take care of you. We have opinions on things if you need them. Menus are in the barrel right inside the door. Kitchen will bring you your food when it's ready. Go see the bartender when you need a refill.
Okie dokie. And one of the questions that we ask almost all of our guests, we try to ask everybody, is what do you do to take care of your mental health?
Didn't we talk about this on the last one?
We did, but for the people that didn't listen.
Okay.
For the YouTube people.
Especially for the YouTube people that want to see your face when you say it.
So it's almost embarrassing, but I grew up on a farm, and I don't farm anymore. I did through college. I raised chickens for George's here in town. That's how I put myself through school. Worked with my grandfather. A lot of our farm is gone now. It's either underneath 612 or the subdivisions out west of town. I've got a second cousin who farms what's left of it, and as a family, that's our main priority is keep Jeremy farming so that it's still a family farm. But I miss being that kind of rural connected, and my grandfather inspired to me this weird love of tractors, and so I collect tractors. I have 4 real ones.
Like real ones? You're talking about the toy ones?
I have 4 real ones, and I have some toys. I don't know how many. Most of them are in boxes. We just moved. I'm going to use that as my excuse. We just moved to have an
We don't judge here. Yeah.
It's not because I have a problem and require a 12-step program like my mother says. It's fine. But that's like my little bit of escapism, like just to feel connected to rural roots.
Makes sense.
And I'm a reader by nature. I love getting escaped into a book. All my favorite.
Are you reading
authors,
anything right now?
Yeah,
What are you reading?
as a rule,
Is it
I'm
about
reading
tractors?
No, that's the downside of the tractors. Like all the tractor books out there are more encyclopedic, and I'm reaching the point that I could tell the authors the things that they forgot, which takes some of the enjoyment out of it. But as a rule, I have like 6 books open at a time. It's summer right now. I always do The Hobbit in May, and follow it with the Fellowship of the Ring in June, Two Towers in July.
I've never watched those movies or read those books before.
You know, the funny thing, for Christmas and consecutive years...
It's Lord of the Rings, right?
Yeah. In consecutive years, my parents got me the extended cuts of the movies because I was so into Tolkien as in my early 20s. I even took a course at the U of A. There was a guy who taught a course on Tolkien in the English part of the U of A.
What is it? Is it J.R.R.
Yep.
Tolkien?
John Ronald Reuel Tolkien. He was South African. Don't get me... Sorry. This is as bad as tractors. You get me derailed, we're going off on a long run. I did see an advertisement for Prime a minute ago that the new Rings of Power starts, I think, in September.
Okay.
But yeah, so right now it's July ending tomorrow and moving into August, so I'm about to slide into the Return of the King, and I always do the Silmarillion in September. I think like that wasn't done on purpose. That was just as I procured the books when I first discovered them.
What's the first one so I can check it out?
The Hobbit.
The Hobbit.
And you really have
Do I have to read the book or can I just watch the movie?
Isn't the Hobbit like a prequel? Like it came first, but it's
the
after?
Hobbit's a prequel to the Lord of the Rings, but the book was released first and kind of released in its entirety. Like if you only ever read the Hobbit, it's a complete story and you're done. If you do the Lord of the Rings, you have to do all 3 of them. And if you really get into it, then you can't help going to the Silmarillion, which is kind of like Tolkien's Book of Genesis. So it's his starting point. It tells you all the backstory. And
love that Bible reference.
the Rings of Power series on Prime, is kind of a lot of the stuff that happened in the Silmarillion. It's not spot on in the same way the movies weren't. Not spot on with the book, but if you're big into Tolkien, like, it's the best we got. So I like the books better. Okay. And there were some cartoon versions that came out in the 70s. A couple of them were made by Rankin Bass, who are the company that did all the claymation Christmas stuff, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, or Easter Bunny's Coming to Town for Easter. And it's a cartoon, but you really recognize their music style. You can pick up some of the same melody lines, which I enjoy because I geek out on trivial details. But my favorite author is a British guy named P.G. Wodehouse, whose first book was published in 1904 and his last when he died in 1975. He wrote 90 books. And I've always got one of his, like, in the truck with me. Like, I just carry one at all times. So if I have the chance to read, I can.
So you try to read the same books every year?
I try to, and particularly seasonally. Like we're coming up into county fair season. Man, I love a county fair. Again, because it's part of my rural past.
Do you have time to go?
Yeah, there have been a few years I have not, but I try to make time because I've got kids and they like going, do some of the really basic rides, like the tethered motorcycle, not the tethered merry-go-round that's a motorcycle, stuff like that, or go see the animals. I love going through the 4-H buildings and seeing all the jams that everybody's judged or the drawings that kids have done. So because I love the county fair, also in September I always read Charlotte's Web by E.B.
love that
White.
one. I love that one.
That's a great book. My kids are reading it for the first time.
The movie made me cry. I've read the book.
They made me read it in 3rd grade.
Fair enough. Yeah, you should read it again. If you haven't read it since then, you should read it again. It's always good to revisit books because you appreciate different aspects of them the second time through.
I'll try to take that advice because I don't revisit anything. I don't revisit a book and I don't revisit TV shows. Like if I've seen it, like I don't want to watch it again. And some stuff I feel like I do. You know, you come back into a season.
Yeah.
And you have no idea what happened with the season two years ago. You know, you don't know where it ended, what's going on, really. Anyway.
So, did you get into How I Met Your Mother?
I wasn't like a habitual watcher, so I don't know the order of the episodes, but I used to watch it all the time.
Oh, man, I loved it. And so it was on, like, it started just before I moved overseas, and then when I moved home, I had like a year to catch up to it up until the last season. And I just really felt a connection with the main character, Ted, and the things that he went through in his life. And so once they wrapped the show up, for as religiously as I watched, as much as I cared about it, I haven't rewatched a single episode. Because I feel like, just like the main character, like I graduated at the end of that last season. Like, okay, I've finished that part of my life and I've got to move on.
Oh, wow.
Which is weird, given, I'm into history and
I feel like I'm more of the Neil Patrick Harris in that. No,
yeah.
I watched, I didn't watch How I Met Your Mother,
my favorite character.
but I watched How I Met Your Father.
Yeah.
With Hilary Duff.
I was okay.
Was it just okay?
I thought
never
it was
saw
pretty
it.
good.
Just okay.
I enjoyed it.
I mean, I enjoy Hilary Duff. You know, like she's a great actress.
And Francia Riza, a Guatemalan actress.
But I also did watch it. Like, if I get past a certain point, like there's no turning back. You know, I have to keep watching.
Well, Jeffro, I appreciate you making the
man.
time, and thank you for hosting us.
Yeah.
This is such a great place for us to try out our first ever video podcast in person.
Live at the Odd Soul.
Migs had a whole behind the scenes set up for this, so we're testing out everything, the audio.
I'm surprised at how many behind the camera people y'all have. Like, you guys watching have no idea just how much of a production
We
crew
have a
they've got here.
22-person crew for this today.
I'm surprised.
There's 36,000 cables behind
I
this camera.
really regret saying we would feed all of y'all because that's clearly going to come back to get
You
us.
know what? I really like the free drinks for everyone. That you probably
No, we don't do free drinks. For legal reasons, we do not do free drinks at all.
But thank you once again.
To get a free drink.
Hopefully we can do this together in the future.
Yeah, man.
And
you know me, I'm a sucker for a microphone.
Hey, well, let's do it again. But for everybody listening, this was episode 250-something, live from the Odd Soul in downtown Springdale. My name is Edavine.
I'm Migs.
Our special
Jeffro
guest
Brown.
was Jeffro Brown from the Odd Soul, owner of the Odd Soul. Catch you all next week. Peace.
Cheerio.